Alright people, go get your change of pants and underwear because you're most likely going to crap your goddamn pants. It's finally here. That's right, Stephen King's masterpiece, It, is now getting their reimagining treatment. So much like it's happening these days. Everything's getting remade, everything, left, right and centre. And of course, if you've known Stephen King's It, you probably recognise it most likely from the 90s TV movie that was based on the book, but now we're getting a two-part film, series so to speak, that is going to be based off and the novel, and it's going to be more closer to the novel. Actually, look, now go grab that change of pants because we're going to go through this trailer bit by bit. I'm going to give my thoughts to it afterwards, and let's goddamn check out It. Alright, so starting right off here, we see Bill, our main protagonist, so to speak, making a paper boat for his kid brother Georgie. As you can see here, he's even naming it the SS Georgie, but, maybe he should have named that shit like the Titanic after the next few scenes, which would be more, it would make more sense. So, Georgie does what all stupid kids used to do, and probably still do to this day, go for a run in the pouring rain, to take his boat for a test spin, and judging by the music alone, I think Georgie's about to go down with his boat like a true captain would. And I mean, look at him, he's having the time of his life. He's running through puddles, chasing his boat, enjoying it all, and bang! Face first into a fucking public works sign. I mean, I must say, I laughed my ass off when I saw this. I really did, because truly, who doesn't like seeing a dumb little kid get hurt? No, I mean, really, who does not laugh at that? So Georgie gets up and shrugs off his head bump to chase his boat down a storm drain. Now, Georgie, if he was a smart kid, he would realise it's just a goddamn paper boat, and it's not worth the goddamn effort of trying to chase it down a storm drain. I mean, shit, when I was a kid, I could have had a real-life model boat, and I wouldn't have given two fucks to chase it down a goddamn storm drain in the goddamn pouring rain, that's for sure. Then we get this really long, intimidating pause that's kind of drawn out, and then wham! Out of nowhere, Heath Ledger appears. I mean Pennywise, the clown, yeah, that guy. Pops out of nowhere, and bang, screen goes black. Now, I, for one, if I was Georgie, I would have shit my pants, and then I would have stuck my big fucking foot down that drain and kicked that fucker right in the big goddamn red nose. Then I would have ran home and told my folks about it. Then again, he probably had no common sense after taking that fucking head knock to that sign before, so, yeah, let's cut him a little bit of slack. From Stephen King's terrifying novel. Well, I can't argue with anything that says, because that is goddamn true. Yes, it is from Stephen King, and yes, the novel is fucking terrifying. We then cut to a few establishing shots showing the town of Derry, plus our first look at the Losers Club right here, and our resident arsehole, Henry Bowers. Look at this son of a bitch fucking redneck. We are then told Derry's a rather shit place to live, with missing kids and adults having a huge number of disappearances compared to other similar towns. Then again, I guess not many other towns have a fucking supernatural evil clown that's going around killing people in the sewers. Cut to Haystack, or better known as Ben, sitting in what appears to be a library, watching Pennywise take the piss by having a balloon float by. And you know what? He's just doing that just to fuck with him. I mean, you gotta love Pennywise. I mean, he would have been alright back in high school, playing fucking pranks and shit. You can't fault Pennywise for that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's a legend at that. Then we hear Bill's kid brother Georgie saying, "We all float down here." I don't know why he turned British, but apparently that's just the way I do American accents. And then we see our main group of kids in search of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some reason. Then cut to the group talking about how they've all seen the same mysterious clown appearing around the town. And some reason Norman Bates is, relocated to Derry. I guess being a, cross-dressing women killer makes it rather hard to fit in anywhere these days, I guess, so to speak. I mean, just ask Bruce Jenner. Next we see the Losers Club looking at a few slides of Derry showing its sewers and stuff like that. How did the hell they get a hold of this? I really hope they explain that. Then we get our first real freaky scenes with the seals rapidly getting faster and faster and faster and faster as it slowly zooms in on Bill and Georgie's mother to show us, oh my god, Pennywise was Bill and Georgie's mum all along! Move over, Darth Vader, twist! Hey, wait a minute. Georgie? George Lucas? Evil parent? Is this the prequel story to George Lucas' childhood or something? Yeah, let's just move right along. Now, time to get those pants on standby because it's fast cut time, showing kids running scared, Pennywise clawed-like fingers ripping through his glove. Footage from this week's Walking Dead episode, but I don't know how that got in there, but that must be a mistake. Somehow a major oil spill splashes all over Beverly's face. How unlikely can that be? I mean, who would have an oil spill in their own goddamn bathroom? I mean, that's just insane. But no, in all seriousness, I can already hear people saying, "It's meant to be blood! It's not meant to be black!" Well, with that being said, people, remembering this is a trailer, it's most likely blood and they had to change it to black to get it across the rating system, so to speak. Either that, or she dropped a fucking bottle of soy sauce down the drain. I don't know. Then we get this odd yet creepy shot of Pennywise playing the fucking strangest game of peekaboo that you'll ever see. Motherfucker, he really digs his balloons, doesn't he? Now cut to the final part of this trailer where Bill sees what appears to be his dead brother Georgie in the basement surrounded by water, and Georgie says, "Come with me, you will float too. You'll float too, you'll float too." Now. If I was Bill, the first thing I would do is look around and find the nearest item and chuck that shit right at Georgie's face. I mean, this whole goddamn movie is your fault, Georgie, when you think about it. You're the one that caused all this shit. Then, oh my fucking god, that is awesome. Now, that is an awesome shot of Pennywise slowly rising his goddamn clown-ass face out of that water. He then charges at Bill with some of the most crazy-ass shuffle move I've ever seen, like how that bitch in Jaws got dragged across the water at the start screaming. Kind of similar to that. It's odd, but somehow fuck is that shit creepy the way he moves. I mean, holy shit, wow. Has Ronald McDonald really fallen on hard times? I mean, look at this shit, really. I mean, I guess that's what fast food does to people after so many years.
The simple joy of Ronald. Ask parents for permission.
And then we get the logo, which is rather average, but yeah, what can you do with two letters? I mean, there's not really much, so I'm not going to criticize it much. Then we get one frame, single shot of Pennywise doing an impersonation of Sylvester Stallone. I mean, look at his mouth. Wouldn't that shit be crazy if Pennywise was played by Stallone?
Well, is this the part where I'm supposed to be scared?
Yeah, hearing that. Well, yeah, Stallone as Pennywise is not that scary.
Oh, really?
Alright, so that's the trailer, people. I don't know what you think about it. I dig it. I personally really like it. This is coming from someone who was terrified as a child watching the very first It. I can even tell you the scene that terrified me. I was watching it. I fell asleep, believe it or not, because you know what? Watching a goddamn television movie that goes for over 3 hours kind of can drain your ass at that age. Yeah, I would have been no more than 8. Maybe 10, I don't know. I was probably around 8. I remember falling asleep about a metre away from the TV, on the floor, dead to the world. I woke up to this shot right here, with Pennywise's glowing-ass eyes, played by Tim Curry, not his eyes, but the clown, played by Tim Curry, scaring the absolute shit out of me. That was the image that made me scared of it. A few years past, I wouldn't even watch it, wouldn't go near the goddamn thing. And then I became so fascinated by the fact that I was scared with it, I wanted to watch it again. I watched it and realised it's kind of corny and goofy. Tim Curry does joke around. Tim Curry, I mean, he's great. Great Pennywise. But it is very corny. And there's very limited things they could do. I then, in fact, read the book. My God, if they can do half the things that they do in that novel and put it in these two-part film, it's going to be scary. It's going to be really goddamn scary. And I don't mean just jump scares, because that shit's just typical Hollywood, and I hope it doesn't go down that route, but very psychological scary. And that is what makes it scary. Because at the end of the day, so many people say, I can't watch it because of the clown, Now, I'm going to break some news to you people. It's not the clown that's scary to you. It's the fact that he's hunting kids. Because how many horror movies can you really name where the kids are the main stars? You always get the adult trying to be or the parent trying to be the savior, or the teenager. But this is kids. These are kids who are loners, that are being attacked by a supernatural force, and no one believes them. I really think that that's what terrified me as a kid. Thinking if I was in that situation, no one believed me, and this supernatural, psychological, fucking insane killer clown from another dimension was trying to kill me. Yeah, I'd be kind of scared. And to touch on the final topic, Bill Skarsgård. I know he is going to be compared to Tim Curry. I've already seen a few comments saying, no Tim Curry, no Pennywise, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Look, Tim Curry played a great version of Pennywise. Different, but a good version. He was not the book version of Pennywise. I used the argument when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. No one can beat Jack Nicholson. No one's going to be better than him. Now, I for one don't think Ledger is better. I think he did a completely different take and did an amazing job of it. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. I love Cesar Romero's Joker. I love Heath Ledger's Joker. I dislike Jared Leto's Joker, but that's a totally different topic. Mark Hamill, brilliant Joker, but they're all different. And I really hope that that's what they're going to do here with Pennywise. I think Bill Skarsgård's going to play it totally different, and I think people are making such a big issue of Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård, the film, it's all relied on him. You know what? It's actually not him it's going to carry this film, it's going to be those kids. If those kids don't act and they are let down, then the film's going to fail. And well, not fail, but it's not going to hold as strong as it could be. Look at Stranger Things. The kid actors make that show work. It's not because of the big scares, it's not because it's set in the 80s and all this that people think. Those kids carry that show. And it's going to have to be the same here with this film. So I personally really dig the trailer. I like the fact it doesn't show a hell of a lot of Pennywise. It just shows you enough. I dig the music that they're going with. I dig the tone they're going with. The fact that bringing it to the 80s, to have it more relevant to when obviously they grow up and it's 30 years later. But yeah, I mean, I dig the trailer. I think it's going to scare the shit out of people. I think people are never going to see it. My fiance has already said no fucking chance am I going to watch that with you, so I'm going to be sitting alone in the cinemas by myself watching it. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being scared of this shit. And I, for one, cannot wait to September to watch Pennywise scare the shit out of me again.